Hi everyone. Welcome.
Why are you talking like that?
Welcome to the vlog. Welcome to my daily vlog.
Who's this?
Today we're going to talk about relationships
Oh God.
and how to have a successful one.
Is it gorgeous?
I'm going to tell you right now how to have a gorgeous relationship. Good in. Let's get centered. See, that's the first step
Oh God.
in a healthy relationship, is being centered, being equal. If I'm taking up all the room and he's pushed to the side, what kind of relationship is that? Certainly not a gorgeous one. So hold my hand and let's talk about. Look at me in the eye. Make eye contact. Make eye contact with me.
You're going cross-eyed.
Look at my eyes.
Which one?
Look at my eyes. Look me in the eyes. Guys, am I going cross-eyed? No. Now look me in the eyes and tell me how you feel. How do you feel?
Weird at the moment, looking in there.
Tell me I'm gorgeous.
You're gorgeous.
Thank you. Hey, Alan.
Alan! Oh, come on, Alan, be in the vlog. They was asking to see Alan and Maggie.
Hey, gorgeous. They still haven't seen Maggie.
Maggie!
This is my cat's butthole. He's got a nice butthole. Look at his butthole.
This is animal abuse. But Alan doesn't mind.
Alan's the most forgiving cat ever.
Yeah, see, he still cuddled
literally
it. Even
doesn't
though I
care
just
about
showed his
anything.
butthole to a bunch of people.
He doesn't even care.
No.
No.
Oh, yeah. So Steeven thought that I was upstairs, but I wasn't. I was, like, right over there, and he was like, I'm gonna wear my hat when we shoot! And I was, like, right next to him. I'm like, Jesus, thanks for saying it so loud.
It was funny.
He was like, I thought you were upstairs.
I did think you were upstairs.
It's always funny when people think that you're far away, but you're not, and so they speak really loud.
What about when you're walking along with your...
It's so funny. Why is that so funny?
What about when you're walking with someone and you talk to them and they've turned a corner and you're talking to someone else?
Yeah. When you think they're someone else.
Yeah. And you say, oh, darling.
You're like, hey, I was just... Oh, how about this? I just text Steeven, I love you so much.
Yeah.
And then
So
I
that's
didn't
changed.
realize it was a group text with Steeven, my sister, and my brother-in-law. Which isn't that embarrassing. I said it would have been worse if I sent him a picture of my whisker biscuit. That would have been super awkward. Not that I do that. I feel like who really sends pictures?
You did.
I've never sent you a picture.
did.
I've never sent you a picture of my vagina.
No,
ever.
but you...
That wasn't me.
No, I think you might have.
No, I haven't.
Wait a minute. You've sent me nude pictures before.
Not vagina nude.
No, but nude.
Not vagina nude.
You have, from your old flat in where you live with Jack. You
My
definitely did.
actual vagina?
I can't remember if it was your actual vagina or not.
I feel like they were always very like.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
they weren't like. Was my vagina in
They might have been.
there? Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you did.
I don't think I did.
Well, your vagina
No,
was
I
in
can't see myself doing
the...
that.
No, but your vagina was in the vicinity. It was hanging. It was
It was
close.
hanging?
It was close.
My vagina's...
It was hanging out.
hanging?
It was hanging out. No, I don't mean it like
My
that.
vagina doesn't hang out.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like hanging out, meaning like it was close by. It was in the vicinity of the naked. You were naked, so...
Yeah, my vagina's gonna be there.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But I don't think it was featured.
It wasn't featured, but just the thought that it was close by was rude. Just
By the way,
said-
my vagina doesn't hang.
No,
it's very contained.
It is. I didn't mean it like that. I meant hang out like, you know, when friends hang out. Like your vagina is a close friend to the boobs. It's never far away. is
But
what
it
I'm
wasn't
saying.
like taken from this angle.
No, but
Like it wasn't like that, was it?
no, you've never done that.
Never done that.
What?
And you've never
Why
sent me
you-
a picture of your dick.
What are you laughing at?
I just think it's funny, this conversation.
Well, no, I've never sent a picture of my penis at all.
Thank God,
Full
because
stop.
really no girls want to see that. Send me a picture of your good credit history. That'll turn me on.
You're
mom's definitely watching this.
Oh God.
Because the thing is, your mom is definitely watching this. I know she's watching
Don't put this bit on the internet.
Obviously,
Oh
I'm
my
going
God,
to.
she saw my bum.
Well, your mom was wiping your bum when you were in. So everybody's been asking the question of how Steeven and I met, and I'm sure some of you know how we met.
Ollie.
Is this normal? I'm telling you, he was a straight man in his past because he rubs on my titties.
Ollie, please. Have
Ollie.
some decorum.
Yeah, please, Ollie.
Have some respect.
So everyone wants to know how we met. Some of you know the story, some of you don't, so we're going to tell it.
Yes.
Late January 2011.
September, October, November, December, January.
Yes. My sister Colleen called me and asked me to go to a party with her and her friends. So Colleen, for some reason, only hung out with English people. Literally all her friends were English, to the point where she sort of had an English accent at times. Like, she would call me and be like, "Hey Laura, do you want to get some tea?" And I'm like, "You're from Chicago."
She doesn't do that anymore now.
She doesn't do that anymore.
She did used to lapse into it occasionally.
Occasionally, she'd go in and out of the English accent, right?
Which is weird when you are English.
Right,
Yeah.
but you see why. It's because all her friends were English.
Yes.
And,
If I started saying partner.
yeah, that'd be weird.
Yeah, sorry.
But you say American phrases now. I've
Like
noticed.
what?
You just do.
I do now.
I can't think of them now. You'll be like, "Fuck that shit," and I know you got that from me. You'll say things like that aren't really English. I can't think of exact examples, but you say American things, or you say garbage. Or
I say garbage.
You say trunk.
And I say elevator.
Yeah, so there you go.
I do.
Anyhow, so Colleen calls me. She's like, "Laura, you have to come to this party. You've been so antisocial. Just come." And I really didn't want to go. Anyway, at the time, I was kind of seeing this guy.
Sick!
Okay.
Sick!
All right. It was before I knew you existed.
Still
so you
sick.
can't really say sick.
Sick.
So I was seeing this guy. He was, I don't know what he's doing now, an entertainment lawyer. Really nice guy.
Really? Oh,
And we went on a couple dates. We weren't exclusive, if you know what I mean. Like, we never had the talk. Okay.
Hello,
We never had the talk, right? We were not exclusive. He could probably see other women if he wanted. I could see other men. We hadn't had that talk. We were probably close to having the talk, but we hadn't yet had that talk.
This is the worst day of my life.
Anyway, so I called him and I was like, "Hey, my sister invited us to this party tonight. It should be really cool. It's at like the, producer of Radiohead. All these musicians are gonna be there. All these cool English people. It's gonna be really awesome."
That's the one good thing that you said, cool English.
Yes. And so he was like, "Yeah, let's go." And I was all excited. Okay, I call my sister
He
Colleen.
didn't. He went, "No, let's go."
Not. What are you, Donald Trump?
So stupid. Let's go.
Are we done?
Yes. That's what he said, though. That's how he talked.
Okay. So he says, "Yeah, let's go." Don't.
How did you know I wanted to do it? Okay, carry on.
And then about 30 minutes before we're supposed to leave for the party, I'm all ready, dressed up. He calls me and he says, "Hey, work is running late. I can't make it." So I thought, okay, perfect excuse to not have to go to this party of these people who aren't really my friends. They're more my sister's friends. And so I called my sister. I was like,
late. I'm an idiot. I can't even use the phone properly.
So I call my sister and I'm like, "Hey, Ben can't make it."
Oh, why do I have to hear that?
Ben can't make
His
it.
name is Father Christmas.
Okay.
Okay.
She says,
Sorry.
"Ben can't make it, so I don't think, I'm not going to go." And Colleen's like, "Just because Ben can't come doesn't mean you can't come, Laura. Jesus Christ. Who are you?
Yeah.
Just shower for once in your life and come."
Bloody pain.
And I was like, "All right, fine." And so I go solo by myself. Go get it, Allie. Go get it. Go get it. Our blind dog plays fetch. Yes, he does. And he will find it and he will bring it back. So, oh, he's like way off. Ollie, totally other direction. Totally other direction. Go get it. You're way cold. Way cold.
Yeah.
Not even, Ollie, go. Go get it.
It's a shame. You can't
Go get, go.
Oh.
Give me that! Give me that! You found it!
Good boy!
Give me that, Ollie! Give me that! Oh, what a good boy! Give me that! No!
Give it.
What a good boy!
He went right over there.
Yay!
And lost it. Found it again.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. I went solo to the party. I walk in, and what do I see? A beautiful man in a suit, holding a water bottle, laughing with his friends. Beautiful smile, perfect teeth. It just looks so wonderful. And I just looked over at him, and it was this beautiful garden. I walked in the party, and I just see him there. And I was like, wow. And I remember thinking to myself, I really want to know, Ollie, you're like ruining the drama of the story.
I'm just going to throw it, and then he can find it. Go get it. Okay.
Go get it. I was actually the first one to go up to him. Do you want to say what you were doing before the party, or is that whatever? Do you remember what you were doing?
Well, thanks for saying it's whatever, firstly. I didn't want to go either. And I can't remember why I didn't want to go, but I didn't want to go. I didn't want to be social. I wanted to be at home and just staying with my dog. Not that dog, different dog, Sid.
Different dog.
Yeah.
Steeven had only lived in LA for about a year.
Yep.
So he came here for work from London, and that kind of...
Oh, I should probably say that I knew Colleen, your sister, well before I knew you. At the party, Colleen said, "Oh, if you're moving here..."
You have to project.
Sorry. At the party, Colleen said...
You don't have to be forced about it. Just when you do this at the party, no one's going to be able to hear you or anything.
At the party, Colleen said, "If you're going to be living here now, we should all hang out." We should...
Just do it normally, please. Naturally.
Colleen said...
A little louder, though.
Colleen said we should get coffee if you're moving. That'd be nice. So I went. I can't remember. Was it Facebook or an instant message? I messaged them to say, "When are you guys going to be available for coffee or something?" And the message I got back was, "This is Colleen's mother." This is Colleen's mother. That's the message I got.
Because Colleen had given my mom her Facebook password to look at pictures.
That's right.
So my mom was on Colleen's Facebook.
Yes.
And Steeven, before Steeven and I had met, or even knew that one another existed, he messaged Colleen. He messaged Colleen, and it turned out to be my mom.
So I spoke to your mum and your sister before I knew you existed.
Yes. I remember I just liked the way that you were smiling, and you were holding a water bottle.
I was being a welcoming gentleman.
Yes, and at the time I was newly sober. I had 59 days sober, so I really didn't. That was one of the reasons I was being antisocial, is because I didn't like going to bars or clubs or anything like that, because it was just, there was alcohol and drugs everywhere, pot or whatever, and I just didn't like being around it. And so I was nervous to go to a party and be social with being newly sober. And so I saw him holding a water bottle, and I was actually drawn to that. And so I went up to him. So I was the first one to go up to him, and I went up to you.
Yes.
And I literally, the first thing I said to him, and I will never forget this, was, "Hey, where'd you get your water?" And then he sort of like just stared at me, like, and it was like silent for a bit, and then I just kept going, and I was like, yeah, like I just love water so much. It's really important to stay hydrated.
And then I said the best line ever, and I said, "You obviously don't like water, but you'd have brought some yourself."
And I was really not expecting him to say that at all. Like, I was really sort of taken aback.
Okay.
And he was like, "Obviously, you don't like water, you would have brought some yourself." And then I was offended slightly, because I really do love water. Like, I really do love water.
Yeah, it was weird. It was a weird thing to come up and be like, "Oh, I love water," though.
Yeah.
No one says that.
I was still awkward. I didn't have my liquid courage, if you know what I
Oh
mean.
yeah, the liquid courage.
So I was like, I was like, are you accusing me of not liking water?
That's right, you did, yeah.
And you were like, I'm just saying, if you did, you would have brought some.
That's right.
And then we talked for a little bit longer. It was like, we kind of were like, have we met?
That's right.
And then you were like, yeah, I think, or have I met you before? And then
That's
you
right, I
made
did
some
say that.
joke about how you were stalking me and
Yes.
you were hiding behind bushes.
I said, yeah.
Which
I
is
was-
really creepy. That should have been a red flag.
I said something like, "Oh, I have met you before, but you just didn't see me because I was hiding in the bushes."
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
super creepy,
Creepy.
shit.
Actually, looking
Super
back on it, that
creepy.
was a creepy
That was
thing to
really
say.
creepy.
I was awkward as well.
Yeah. So I was like, whatever, I'm gonna go find some water. And so I left, and I think like this like children's illustrator started hitting on me, and we were talking for a while. Did I tell you that?
Yes.
Yes. And he was cool, and you know, we had talked, but whatever, he didn't excite me the way that you did.
I also got hit on that evening.
Did you?
Yes.
By who?
I'm not going to say on the camera.
You sick bastard.
Well, no, but
Yeah,
the point
it was
is
a
that we were
party.
doing other things.
Yeah, we were
Yes.
doing other things. We were both getting hit on by other people.
Yes.
And then
Probably
as
me not as much as you, though.
probably
Sick.
not. And as the night progressed, everyone was getting progressively drunker and higher.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay, like it's time for me to go. And as I'm leaving, I see Steeven, and I was like, ugh, I guess I'll say goodbye to the water guy. And then I went up to you and I was like, hey, you know, I'm leaving. I just wanted to say goodbye. And what did you say?
I said, "Why are you leaving?"
Yes. He said, why are you leaving? And I said, because I'm the only sober person here. And then he was like,
I'm sober, I said.
yeah. And then I was like, sober?
Yes.
And he's like,
Sober.
because here's the thing, guys. There's
Sober.
two different types of sober. There's sober because you're driving home and you're responsible sober, or there's sober like you come from a long line of addiction and you don't know how to have one drink or take one hit, so you have to be completely abstinent from drugs and alcohol forever. That kind of sober.
Yes.
There's two types of sober.
And I had to go on a special holiday to learn how to be sober. About
Rehab.
10 years before
Right.
this meeting. So I've been sober a while, and I had
Yes.
another sober friend at the party.
Yes.
And he came up to me at some point in the evening and went, "Psst," because you're not supposed to say, it's supposed to be a secret. He said, "Do you know there's someone here who's got 59 days sober?" He said. And I was like, "Who is it?" And he goes, "I can't tell you who it is though, because it's a secret."
Yep. And yeah, and so that was it. And then so when he said sober, it was like this instant connection. It was so exciting. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were around these people who
I-
were drinking and using.
I
and
had no
you
idea-
feel so alone.
I had no
sometimes.
idea you were sober. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I would never have even thought it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
to say you love water so much, looking back on it, should have been an indicator, but I didn't think it.
Well, you know what's funny is like you looked so happy that I was convinced that you were like on ecstasy and you were
yeah.
drinking, or Molly as people say now, and you were just like drinking water to stay hydrated, because I just didn't think that people actually could have a good time without being on some drug or alcohol.
I think I was.
That's how twisted my mind was. I was like, he must be rolling.
I was having a good time actually. I just remembered when I said I was having a good time because I think I was talking to Greg and I was having a nice conversation with Greg. Was I
Yeah.
talking to Greg? Maybe I was talking to Greg.
Probably. You probably were.
Yeah, because I always had a good fun talking to Greg. Anyway.
Yeah. So it was like, oh my God, it was this big connection. We were both, you know, recovered alcoholics, and we both were living sober, and it was just an exciting connection to make. And so at that point we exchanged numbers. Steeven was like, do you know any good meetings and things like that?
Uh-huh.
And for recovery, and I recommended some, and at that point we exchanged number.
And it just so happened there was one the next day.
Yes, there was one the next day. So it was like we kind of made a plan. Like, hey, let's go meet at this meeting tomorrow at 11:30. And I think you asked me to go to lunch right?
I think I did.
It was like, do you want to have lunch before?
That's
Something
right.
like that.
Yeah, coffee before, I
Yeah.
said. And you were like, no, I like to walk.
After.
No, because
It was
you...
meeting and then we went to lunch.
Yes, but
Yeah.
originally, I asked you...
You text me the next morning, shall I pick you up?
Yes, that's
And then I
right.
said, no, I like to walk.
Which I thought was being told to go and get stuffed.
Well, because I didn't know him that well, and I do. It was like one of my favorite walks to be able to walk to this meeting and this recovery meeting, and then I just loved that walk. And so he texted me, shall I pick you up? And I was like, no, I like to walk.
Yeah.
So,
And then
so we met at the meeting, and then I did get in your car after the meeting, and we drove to a cafe.
And you thought that I had this really nice classic Mercedes, and I thought I was so cool, and like all my, because my friends were quite hipstery, I guess, looking back on it, but everyone was like, oh wow, it's an 80s Mercedes, how cool, blah blah blah. You thought that I was an old man that had an old car and couldn't work the radio.
Well, I still do think you're an old man.
I'm not an
but
old man.
I will say that,
No appreciation for the Merc.
No, I didn't like the old car. I thought it was going to break down any second, and I was petrified. And also, he had on the hip-hop station, and maybe this is a little racist of me, but I thought because he was British, there's no way that... I thought the radio was stuck and he didn't know how to work it. And that's why it was on the hip-hop station, because he just did not strike me. We're at the Radiohead producer's house at a party. He's super British, like he's basically Russell Brand. I just did not see him listening to Lil Wayne.
See, you
I just
can't
did not
judge-
see that.
You can't judge a book.
I'm
by
obsessed with hip-hop.
its British
I didn't
cover.
know that he was.
You can't judge a British book by its
No,
hip-hop cover.
I guess you can't. Because little did I know he was like obsessed with hip-hop too.
Yeah, obsessed with it. It's my
Yeah.
favourite.
Yeah, and but I thought, I didn't say anything, but I thought the radio must have been stuck. I thought it didn't work because the car was so damn old.
There's me thinking this'll impress her. When she gets in the Mercedes, it's going to be game over because it's such a cool car. And I'd only had it a couple of
You
weeks.
couldn't even like get the door fully open.
I know, it didn't work. Some of it didn't work.
Do you know that when he went to the car place to buy
Just don't
the
tell
car,
him this bit.
he took it for a test drive, and the car broke down during the test drive.
Yeah.
And then Steeven said to the guy, "Is this going to happen a lot?" And the guy said, "No." And Steeven went, "All right, I'll take it."
No, I didn't. I said, "Is this going to happen a lot?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Will you get it fixed?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Do you promise?" To which he said, "Yes." So I believed him. He didn't. You know that man didn't do any work on the car. It didn't work.
Do you promise?
I said, "Do you promise?" And he said, "Yes." Gentleman's agreement.
Idiot's agreement.
That was one of the first days that it worked.
Anyhow, so we go to lunch, and literally we we were there for 3.5 hours, I would say. Almost 4. A long time. And we just talked and talked and talked and talked.
Yeah.
Oh, and I forgot the one other funny thing. So, one last thing I forgot. So, the morning before we had lunch for the first time, I called Colleen, my sister, and I was like, "Hey, you'll never guess who I'm having lunch with." She was like, "Who?" And I'm like, "Steeven Hilton." And she was like, "Oh, you're not allowed to date him."
It's not unfair.
Well, at that point, I was like, we're going to lunch. I had a connection with you, but it wasn't like I was like, oh my God, he's the one. I certainly was not thinking that. I really didn't at all. Not even a little. Like, not even a little was I. I was actually fine with the friendship. I was just excited to meet someone that I connect with. And so I was like, oh, well, we're just going to lunch. So I was like, why? And Colleen's like, well, he's married, for one. And you're going to have to hear the rest next week.
That's a cliffhanger.
That is a cliffhanger that you were not expecting.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Whoa.
To be continued.
Even Ollie's freaking out.
Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment below. How did you meet your significant other? I love hearing those stories. I love hearing.
You do. You're obsessed
the
with
how
those
did you
stories.
meet stories are my freaking favorite.
You always
so
ask.
please tell it below. Whether it's your current boyfriend, girlfriend, or your ex, or your husband, wife, whatever. I want to know. How did you meet? All right. Love you all.
Bye.
I